All right. So, um, dark web, red rooms, Peter Scully. Um, what else? Um, basically, paid execution viewerships online. All these different things. Um, that's what this really boils down to. Think of it like this: if you hack a human brain, right? You can see what they see, hear what they hear. You can see their thoughts. You can see their memories. And everything's being uploaded to a cloud server. And people within a particular circle or network, they basically have login information that they put in so that they can gain access to be able to view, like click on people like their channels. Imagine you no longer have to try to find some way to hack someone's computer or hack someone's device to be able to you know gain access to their accounts and stuff like that. You don't have to hack the device no more. You hack the human. You hack the actual person. And with all the nanotechnology, the aerosolized nanobots that's being sprayed all over the world, and then we're inhaling it. Then it gets into our bloodstream, and they're attaching themselves to our nervous system. And all they have to do is use the satellites to basically, you know, um, find they just all they have to do is use the infrared light technology from the satellites to basically link to the person or link to the transmitters, which are or the nano transmitters, just link to it, so then they can be able to, well, receive the data that's being collected by the nanotransmitters that's inside of your body. Every thought, everything you see, everything you hear, every memory, it's all in electrical impulses, right? Now, with the brain computer interfaces that's out that most people aren't fully aware about, it's transforming those electrical impulses into code, zeros and ones. And then the brain computer interface is then converting that code into images and videos. Um, Now the full details on how it necessarily works, um, I couldn't tell you like right off the top of my head, but I've found several studies, especially like out in Japan and China, where scientists have been able to actually turn your dreams. They recorded like the EEG and they took the EEG and fMRI, recordings of people's brains, and they were able to transform that data collected from the person while they were sleeping, and then run it through a brain computer interface where then it is like basically transmitted or transformed into images and into videos, and they can save it and then upload it to like basically save it like a file. And when you think about how they're like attacking the body and everything like that, well, um we could look towards digital twin technology. Digital twin technology is basically the use of and it's interesting because when you look up digital twin technology, all they may really mention is that there are like millions of transmitters, but it doesn't they don't necessarily tell you exactly what the transmitters are. It just says millions or trillions of transmitters are scanning everything every day and then uploading that information to servers, where then AI is then taking that information and then, well, for the most part, taking that information and creating a virtual digital copy of the thing that of the information is the nanotransmitters have been collecting. Um, Now, when you think about that, if they can make a digital copy of you, and then someone can basically take that digital copy, and whatever they do to that digital copy on a computer, remember, there's a constant, I don't want to say permanent, but there's a constant link between the electrical activity that's happening in your body and then the what's happening from the computer, because the computer that they're operating from, or whatever device they're using, whether it's a laptop, your cell phone, whatever the case may be, whatever they do to that digital copy, that data is transmitted through frequencies and then it's sent and received by the nanotransmitters within your body. The nanotransmitters that's basically binded or bound, or that have bonded with your body, they then begin to resonate. So with every action that they do on the computer to that digital twin of you, you will feel what the digital twin feels. Now, they gonna do whatever the hell they want. At the end of the day, I already know. I'm not the only one that's seeking to expose. I mean, there's millions of us out there, but maybe an even smaller amount that actually has the best idea of how everything is working. And then is it's thankful that we actually have whistleblowers, like people who are former NSA, former CIA, former military, all these people see who seen what was happening, and then once they started to blow the whistle on it because they knew it was immoral, you know, it's like we got to be thankful that we have these people, But the problem is, it's too many people who have too much fear in them. It's too many people in this world who have too much fear in them, so they're allowing, you know, themselves to be bullied into, basically going along with everything. Um, and I try to have as much patience as I can, because I'm taking care of, like I basically try to take care of my mother as best as I can, and she doesn't necessarily trust having a lot of people, especially new people, people who supposed to be like home attendants and stuff like that, because especially with everything that happened back in December going into January, when they basically try to take her out in the hospital. They basically try to say that she had COVID, but I know for a fact that days before she went into the hospital, just like 2 3 days before she went into the hospital, she took a COVID test. She went somewhere. She went to the doctor's office. They took a test for her. She didn't come back with COVID. She didn't test positive for COVID. But yet, when she got to the hospital, they said she had COVID, and then they said she had pneumonia as well. So, and then while I was, at home trying to, like, basically, um, just try to take care of whatever I can here, one of the doctors or nurses called me, telling me, "Oh, your mom doesn't look like she's gonna make it. You should, call her and wish her, what, send her off or whatever. I don't know. I didn't necessarily believe that. And then on top of that, even God wasn't allowing me to really believe that, really. But you know what? Tell you the truth, um, there were times where I was worried, but at the same time, I had this feeling in me that it's not time yet, and God made sure of it. It's not time yet. So, and not right now. They're trying all the same things again because after I gave her the radiation detox bath, she was feeling so much better right after that bath. Then all of a sudden they started, I mean, of course they're not going to stop the radiation. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep doing everything that they can. So shortly after, like maybe about a day or two, she told me that she felt like the cold was trying to come back. She still believes it's a cold. Um, but I mean, I can't. Remember, you can't force nobody to believe anything if they don't want to believe it. Especially if they're coming into like new information, like information that's brand spanking new. And like I told you, my mom, she has been targeted for years because she had a case against the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So you already know anybody that try to come after a big giant like the Federal Reserve, they already got a target on their back, you know. So it's only even more prevalent that at some point I would eventually get targeted. And well, from what the gang stalkers and the handlers, the V2K hosts, that's what they are. They're hosts. From what they told me is basically, oh, you wasn't even supposed to be a target. You were supposed to be a police officer. But for one, I don't listen to nobody I don't trust. I don't listen to nobody I don't trust, and I'm not being strayed or led down any paths that I can't see the end goal. They didn't even at least try to lie to me about why I should become a police officer. They just kept saying you got to become a police officer, because when they use, first of all, I didn't give them consent to use technology on my body or in my brain. So that right there, that just let me know, hell no, I'm not doing anything you tell me because I didn't even give you consent to enter in my body in that way. So basically, they're forcing their will on people. They're forcing their will on people. And I'm like, I just don't understand why anybody would just go along with someone who invasively gain access to their brain and gain access to them and just start spitting stuff at them and you're just gonna go along with it. I feel like this is one of those parts in a sci-fi movie where there's like multiple dimensions and they don't realize the role that they're playing in our dimension, but in another dimension, there's some fucked up, ugly looking, probably demons or something that's, like overlaid over them, and then they're basically working through them, but in another dimension, and trying to attack, you know, basically spirits that are actually, um, what's the words I'm looking for? Like they're trying to corrupt spirits that are already enlightened and favored by God. You know, now they're trying everything in their power to basically destroy my brain right now as I speak because for the last about 5 hours I've been feeling this intense, like, so you see these, I have clear quartz right over the spot where I'm feeling this it's like it's light. It's a light energy beam that's basically going straight down through the crown and it's right in the center of my brain, probably trying to destroy the pineal gland or something like that. And It's like very hot. It's not even warm. It's hot on the top end, on the crown of my head is hot, and then every time I move, there's like this slight, like there right now there's a ton of pressure all in the center of my brain. It's like it's like as if there was like a metal ball, right? It's like there was like a metal ball in the center of my brain, right? And then let's say it was a like a Bluetooth, connected vibrating metal ball or something, and then all you had to do is from your phone you could cause the ball to vibrate. Um, Kind of like think about this is a bad example, but think about there's like these sex toys that women can put inside of them, right? And then from a phone you can basically control the vibration of the toy that's inside of them. What it feels like is as if there's like a metal ball or something right in the center of my brain, and they have this beam connected to that ball, and they're somewhere remotely basically turning up the vibration of the ball. So now to the point where it's vibrating so hard, it's generating heat and it's getting hotter and hotter. And the vibration, I could feel the vibration inside of my brain. Like I can feel it. Like it's almost as if like it's like this, all in in the center, straight through the crown, and it's right in the center. Um, but you know what? At some point, all of this is gonna bite every single one of them in their ass. Why? Because the human body is not meant to absorb this much energy. It doesn't matter if because at some point if they're targeting us, right? Remember, the global elites have a whole agenda. They have a whole agenda. Depopulation is for real, and they're going to come after the ones who they don't necessarily deem controllable. That's basically us right now. After they get rid of the ones they can't control or imprison the ones that they can't control, what they'll do is they'll go after the ones that they actually don't want living side by to live side by side with. That's inevitable. That's usually always the case when it comes to dealing with like you know rich and powerful people. I mean, when just look at gentrification. Basically, it's like if gentrification was not working fast enough, this would be the fastest way. This would be the fastest way to get rid of people that they don't necessarily want to live side by side with. Give access give some access to people within a certain community to basically go after the strongest ones, right? Go after the ones who they know would basically um, rebuttal or basically say hell no to any type of like invasion of a community or whatever the case may be. And they'll go after anybody who will try to go after someone who will try to change the culture of a community. Give some access to those people. Once they have completed their phase, the next phase would be use your master controls to then control the ones who are causing harm to others. Or even worse, create a scenario or a story to the point where now it'll finally be disclosed to the public that there were people using this technology against people who didn't deserve to die, and people who didn't deserve to we would basically, like, after it's all said and done, we would probably end up becoming the ones that, like, always remember that these people were tortured and stuff. Like, we would become the new Holocaust victims. Like, us, we would become the new Holocaust victims, And then all the ones who's controlling and doing all this stuff to us, they would end up becoming the new Nazis. That's how I'm seeing that. That's at least one scenario how I'm seeing it play out. Like they would become the new Nazis. They not just neo Nazis. They would become tech Nazis, tech Nazis, tech Nazis. You know, whatever. But yeah. So I gotta keep throwing some more magnets on this reflector because I think I may have come across something, but I gotta keep testing it out. But the most important thing to realize is you gotta detox. I gotta do my radiation bath too. Um, but you gotta detox. You gotta learn everything that you can about how to detox heavy metals. Detoxing, nanobots and there's some very natural ways of doing so. Whatchamacallit, I had one link, but you know what? Maybe I could probably put that link on YouTube or something like that and see. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna try to put in. I'm gonna put it in the description, and I don't know. Maybe some of y'all be able to gain access to it. Some people haven't been able to gain access, or they would be able to get in the first time, but then as soon as they do a little moving around or something like that, or click on something, all of a sudden they get blocked. So I would suggest that when I upload the link and you get in the first time, see um if you can't print it out, what I would do is press Control C, Control Copy. Basically copy. Go to like Microsoft Word or something like that and paste it. Control P and paste it on Microsoft Word. That way you'll be able to have your own copy in case something weird happens with the website owner's server, and then they block you out for whatever reason. Um, Along with that, yeah, find everything that you can to basically find everything that you can to basically maintain your peace, because they're going to increase everything more and more and more. See, I don't get too much of the gaslighting. I mean, if I do get the gaslighting, that's probably like, that's probably like medial stuff to me. Like that stuff doesn't really phase me that much. I'll probably acknowledge that it's probably something said that could possibly, you know annoy me, or kind of shift up my energy a little bit. But then I realize, that's beneath me, and then I let it go. You gotta learn to let things go, because that's what they're hoping for, is that once that certain once that certain once you hit a certain like frequency range, or something upsets you, and they see that specific brain activity, they see that specific spike in brain activity or drop in brain activity, they find that particular, they lock on to it, right, and then they transmit it, and then they basically try to they basically try to lock you into that mode. So you gotta learn how to. I just got some chills when I said that. That's how I know I ain't lying. So you gotta learn how to let things go, and if it's something that you cannot control, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I'm telling you, that's going to be the best thing that you can do, is learn to let things go. You know, yeah, they got this. So what I'm going to do, I think my crystals absorbed as much as I could. Trying to find whatever I can. Trying to find whatever I can. What is this? This one, I forgot. I remember when in the beginning, I tried to start using like crystals and stones and stuff like that. Then I realized the technology seems a little bit too powerful for like these crystals and stones to really work in the way that I would want it to. So now what I'm doing is, well, now I'm trying this. to see if it can interfere with the light to some degree. Yeah, but okay, that feels really good. Um, these probably need to get cleansed by the sun in the morning, hopefully. Yeah. I had, well, I don't know if you remember, some time ago, I had bought like eight, seven, like 7 or 8 different types. No, it was like 6 different types of electromagnetic field absorbing or radiation absorbing stones. So I'm going back to using some of them. Like I got a whole window seal um, of stones and everything, and I leave them by the window so that when the sun comes out, it basically cleanses the stones at the same time. But yeah, just remember everything that they're doing is all about money, power, and control. It's always about money, power, and control. That's why in the Bible it says we're not wrestling against flesh and blood. We're wrestling against principalities. We're wrestling against wickedness in high places. We're wrestling against workers of darkness. We're wrestling with, you know, people who we're wrestling with basically probably descendants of fallen angels, or descendants of those who God would deem abominable, in a sense. But anyway, yeah, I think that's all I got for now. I gotta go and finish cooking for my mom. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that far, but you see how it's flickering like that? That's not supposed to flicker like that. It was off for a while, and then all of a sudden it started flickering. That's supposed to be solid blue. This is an ionized air purifier. When the light is on, that means that it's working, right? See how it went off? There's nothing wrong with this outlet. There's nothing wrong with the electricity in this apartment. That is an indicator that someone is actually manipulating the electricity in the apartment. You know, and when you think about all these power plants, right? All these power plants that's being, attacked, and they're trying to make it seem like it's a foreign, entity that's attacking our power plants and things. It ain't no foreign. It ain't no foreign entity. That's these technocrats. That's the cabal or the secret societies, whatever they want to call themselves. That's these people. It's not it's not no foreign entity. That's it. Because I mean, at this point, if you've been doing the research, you realize that most of these global wars are fake. It's all about fear mongering, but they don't. There's no actual real beefs with each other unless the ideologies of one country is way different from the other. You know, because I mean, if you look at South Korea and North Korea, they basically that's a communist state over there. So you already know the ideologies of them are far different from those of South Korea. And what you call it, and then when you look at I don't know, there's a whole bunch of other global things going on, but you know what? I kid you not when I tell you, watch God work. I promise you, everything that we're seeing right now has happened in the past. The technology may have been different, but the ideologies are still the same. Everything that we're seeing right now, it happened in the past. It just looked different, but it happened already. And if because we know it happened already, we already know what's to come after that. So just stay prayerful, protect your peace, protect your peace, protect your peace. And as always, Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Peace.